I'm going to start off this video by asking this question. What is it like working in corporate as the only Black person, as the only Black man, the only Black woman? Now, this woman right here is sharing her experience working with the Korean people. Now, from the caption, you could see that she was the only Black woman. Please stay with me, guys. Let's just hear her story. And of course, I'm going to show you some stitches. Obviously, people stitch her video, sharing their experiences. Please check this video out.
Story time of me working for PE0ple, New York as the only Black person in corporate. Honestly, y'all, it took a lot out of me to even make this video. It's been 3 months since I left the job. They actually fired me. Wrongful termination, but we'll get to that. It has just been a very long journey. PE0ple, New York is a very popular beauty brand. They are very known for their 24-hour edge controls. I'll put it right here. And they're also very known for their wig sprays. So hairstylists, listen up, because a lot of you, even if you're not a hairstylist, if you're a Black woman, Black people in general, listen up, because I was treated so horribly, guys. Like, I would go to the bathroom every day at work and cry. It was to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. That's how bad it was. So I initially seen a job posting on LinkedIn for being their content creator, basically like the face of the brand. Just do like a quick couple of videos for them. So the HR lady, the company's very small. If that, like, the company is like 80 people or whatever. So there was only one HR person at the time. And this lady, she reached out to me on LinkedIn and she was like, oh, can you come in for an interview? Like, we would love to talk to you. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I go in there and she's just like telling me all about the brand. And I realized that she kept saying like, oh, we're trying to make it more diverse in the office. We're trying to make it, she just kept saying that. We're just trying to make it more diverse in the office. So I'm just looking around and I'm like, well, there are a lot of Korean people. How are you guys doing this? Like, what do you mean? There's no Black people at all? So she's showing me like, oh, they have like in-house beauty hairstylers, nail techs, lash techs, whatever, and they test out the products. They're not on a corporate side though. I didn't know this. I'm just thinking like, oh, okay, so I see some Black women in the office, cool. So I'm looking around, it's just nothing but Korean people. That still didn't bother me because I still seen like some Black women in the office. So I'm like, cool, it doesn't matter. So she seen my resume and she was like, how do you feel about actually working full-time as a marketer, social media marketer? And I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I could come into the office every day and, do marketing. That's what I went to school for, communications and marketing. So I took on a job. And the first day that I went to work, they was just basically showing me how to do stuff, what websites they use and things like that. So I'm already ready to make my first video, post it on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Wow. I edited this video and I posted it right before I left. And I noticed that it was going viral within 3 hours. Like, as soon as I posted it, it was going up. So I'm like, I'm getting excited because I'm like, oh, this is my first day and I'm already, showing off, like doing my job. And I was looking at it all night. That's how excited I was. I kept scrolling, going on their page and looking at the video like I'm doing my big one. It was around 8 p.m. that I realized that the video was deleted. So I'm like, what's going on? I was reading the comments the whole time, y'all. Everyone was laughing at the video. They were saying whoever's on the marketing team needs a raise. They were saying all these positive things, right? So I go into work the next morning, and as I'm walking to my desk, I have to pass my supervisor's desk, and I have to pass another coworker that thought she was my supervisor. Let's get into that. We could get into that, but I'm gonna just keep going. So I'm going to my desk, and I see that my coworker is showing my supervisor the video that I posted on TikTok from the account or whatever. So I'm like, they're just like literally looking at it or whatever, like reading the comments. And I'm like, hey, good morning. Yeah, why did the video delete? And all I know is that they looked at me and they were just like, there was too many negative comments. So then I go on the account and I, look at the comments. I'm like, there's no negative comments. someone was saying like, oh, the person that posted it, like the marketing team, I mean the company better be black owned or something like that, because the video was funny. It was about SZA, I think it was. Like, it was about a black person doing a wig. It was some creative thing that I did. It was just all jokes, and it was good for marketing. So I was like, there's no negative comments here. And you know, I felt some type of way, because I'm like, it was my first day. I made a video go viral. Y'all needed help going viral and, you know, keep marketing these products and stuff. And I'm over here doing it on the first day, and y'all trying to figure out one little thing. Y'all see one little comment that says something, you know, a little negative to y'all, and y'all want to delete it. That's not how this works. Like, yeah, we got to get some tough skin around here if y'all want to keep going up in this company. So I let that slide. But ever since that day, I realized, like, everyone was just in competition with me. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was just like they were no longer trying to teach me anything. They were no longer First of all, I realized, let me just backtrack. Ever since that day, they had started speaking Korean the whole time in the office, in the marketing room. Korean. I had no conversation with them. They would speak to me whenever they told me to just do something. They would have meetings in full-blown Korean. Even the CEO would come in and speak in Korean. And nobody thought to even, you know, like, look and be like, oh, let's just speak in English for now. You know, we do have a black lady here that's just not Korean, and she doesn't know anything that we're saying. So I just started feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, there's no way that, you know, everybody was speaking English in the beginning, the first day that I was there, you know, being very nice. And now all of a sudden, everyone's just speaking Korean the whole time, giggling, looking at me, laughing about things. And I have no idea what any of them are saying. So literally the next week, I came into the office. I go in the bathroom. I come out. My supervisor, my coworkers, no one in a marketing team is in the office. So I'm like, I know for sure the day before, my supervisor was telling me like, oh, we're going to go to New York to set up for this TV show that we're doing or whatever. So I'm like, I know they did not leave me in the office by myself while they're in New York. Like, they went to the New York office. So I contacted my supervisor right away, and he's like, oh yeah, we did leave you. He didn't really have anything to say. That's the thing that really got to me, is because like he really just was like, oh yeah, we left you, just do some work, edit some videos or whatever. Like, he didn't have no real reason to be leaving me. Like, he just did not care. So I'm just like, I'm feeling some type of way now, because it's like, y'all speaking Korean, y'all leaving me out of things. What, like, is this a team or not? So once I realized like they're separating me, I have coworkers that's talking to me any kind of way. The supervisor is just letting the coworkers talk to me any kind of way. I guess she thought that she was a supervisor, but we were literally on the same position. The first day, that was the only time she was nice to me. I guess once my video went viral, something switched. She was just like, oh, there's competition. I don't know, but I don't work like that. Like, if we're a team, we are a team. There's no reason for y'all to be like treating me any type of way. I'm new here, number one. I'm still trying to get the feel of things. I guess they felt intimidated. I don't know. But at that point, I just felt like, why am I in this office every day? Y'all are speaking Korean. Y'all don't want to speak to me at all. I'm at the lunch table trying to figure out where I'm gonna go sit at, because the Korean culture, like, they all sit together, they talk. I sat with them like 1 or 2 days, the first 2 days, and they were just speaking Korean. They did not care. I just felt like that was so rude. So at this point, I'm feeling very uncomfortable about working there, but I'm still just like, you know, I'm very new. Hopefully it'll change. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I went to HR and I complained. Y'all know when people say like HR is not on your side, like HR is not your team, they're just here to protect the company. That's 100% true. In this case, I went to the HR lady and I was telling her, like, I feel very uncomfortable. There are incidents that's going on, and I just feel like something has to be done, because this is not the way I know that, you know, a corporate is supposed to be ran. And I'm not supposed to be getting treated like this. I'm a new employee. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I still feel like I'm being left out. Why is that? So she's just like, oh, I understand. Like, I'll speak to the marketing team. I'll speak to your supervisor. I'll try to get them back on track and try to get them, you know, to work with you. When I tell you guys, I worked since August. I was complaining all the way up until January about these things. I even had to take a mental health leave because of this. It was messing with me every single day. The way they treated me, it was like they were micromanaging me a lot. So the Korean culture, like work culture, is very different. I get that. But the way I'm saying they're micromanaging me, every employee at Evan, New York, they have to write down their daily tasks in Asana, right? The daily tasks, you have to put each hour what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So mine, I had to make sure I put, like, I edited 10 videos today. I posted this. I emailed this person. I reached out to influencers. I did this. Like, my Asana had a whole book of things. And I would get emails when my coworkers would post on their Asana, like upload their stuff. And you can just literally see they would have like 3 bullet points, quick things like scheduler emails, this, that, like very broad. And I was the one that had to put everything in detail, make sure the links was there, every single thing, guys. I just felt like, what is going on? You know what made it worse? The CEO of the company decided that I need to start having presentations with him, the vice president, HR, and the whole marketing team. And I had to let him know exactly what I was doing. I had to show him every post that I made, everything that I edited, everything, you know, outreach to influencers, every single thing. So at this point, I'm a little frustrated because it's like, now it's new other Koreans coming in doing the same thing, you know, like marketing and things like that in the same marketing room. And no one has had to do this presentation. I even asked people that were there before me, I'm like, have you guys ever had to do this presentation? They're like, no, I don't know why you had to do it. That's a problem. He's basically just telling me like, I don't know why you have to do all this, but that's very insane of you to have to sit there and like literally show them what you're doing when you literally are writing it down just how any other co-worker is doing. What really made me feel some type of way is the CEO still didn't care. Like he just had this look on his face, like a disgust look. And I was just like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? He's just like, I just don't see. Like, I just don't get what you do, or I don't get your job. And I was just like, well, didn't you hire me? Like, I'm pretty sure you, the company, being that he's the CEO, I get that. You guys are probably like, well, he probably didn't hire, he don't know. He goes through every single thing. He's there. Like, he's on your back while you work. He knew that I was going to get hired for the position, what I do, and everything like that. So for you to be talking to me saying, like, I just don't see what you do, and I don't get your job, and are you even happy here? Because if you're not happy here, then you can get out. He told me that. At this point, I just felt like, I sat there and asked him, I said, are you talking about the HR complaints that I've made about me feeling uncomfortable in a marketing room? And right then and there, you know, HR, everyone is in the room. HR is just like, no, he's not talking about that. No, he's not talking about that. So I just didn't know what to do at that point, because it's like, I don't want to quit. I still need a job. But at this point, it's like, they don't want me here. They want me to quit. So what do I do? To make things like a little bit more clear for you guys, Evan, New York had just took ownership of a Black-owned company. They were the first ones to do Jamaican black castor oil, and, you know, they have hair products, all that good stuff. I don't really want to talk about the brand that they just, you know, kind of pushed me onto, because I was complaining so much to HR about me not feeling included with working under Evan, New York specifically. But basically, they pushed me onto another brand that they took ownership of, and I did the social media for that specific brand. I was still in the same office with all the Koreans, you know, in the marketing room, in that same room, but now I just don't have a team. They told me that I'll have a new supervisor. The supervisor had no experience in marketing. He doesn't know nothing that I'm doing at all. He thinks that I'm just sitting there on my phone all day, because he doesn't realize that I use my phone to edit videos, and I use my iPad to edit all these videos and do all the graphics and things. And he's just sitting there trying to go back into CEO and the vice president and tell them, oh, she doesn't do anything, or like, she just does the bare minimum. Like, It just seemed like they looked for any little thing just to try to get me out of there. He told someone that he was trying to get me fired, if that makes sense, and it got back to me. This same new supervisor, guys, guess what he did? He told me to read over a resume. He literally handed me a paper, and he told me to read the name to see if it was a black name. A black name. What is... So I'm looking at it, I'm like, a black name? What do you mean by that? A black name? And what are you gonna do with it? And I was like, no, the last name actually was like, you can tell it was like a Hispanic name. But I was just like, what's your point, you know? And he never said anything. He was like, no, that's a black name. And then he snatched the resume back, and then that was just that. He was very rude, guys, and it was just like, it was unbelievable, the stuff that I was going through. I'm gonna give you guys another example. I had to travel to Atlanta for a photo shoot for a new line that we were doing, and this new supervisor, he had to book my hotel and stuff. So I had to travel by myself. Usually, like, I travel with coworkers and stuff. I was the only one that was traveling. I had to meet people that were already in Atlanta and do everything else. So I'm just fine with that. It is what it is. So I get to Atlanta. I have the Uber take me to the address of the hotel. Guys, when I tell y'all, this looked like a motel. It was bugs in the room. It was stuff all in the bed. It wasn't a hotel, I'll give you that. Like, it wasn't like just one tall building, nothing like that. It was like literally little rooms, each everywhere. So at this point, I was traveling all day. It was like 6, 7 p.m. I'm trying to walk. It was like later than that, actually, because it was like getting dark. So they had me all the way in the back. So I'm already feeling uneasy. I'm by myself out in Atlanta, and this is where y'all put me in. Y'all have all this money and y'all want to put me in a hotel like this? Y'all playing in my face. I was cool with 2 other workers that's in a different department. So I'm contacting them. I'm like, when y'all have to travel with, you know, Eben, do you guys get treated like this? Or are you guys in a nicer hotel? Everyone's just shocked, completely shocked. They're like, I've never been in a hotel like that. I don't know where they have you, but you need to leave. And at that point, I'm just like, I definitely need to leave. I don't feel safe here. The part that they had me in was all the way in the back. It was just a mess. I'm going to insert some pictures in here so y'all can see it as I'm talking. But so once I realized I don't feel comfortable staying at this hotel, motel, whatever it was, I called him. And he's like, oh, I don't know what to tell you. I already booked it and there's nothing we could do. Bye. And hung up. I kid you not. That's all he did. While I'm sitting there on the verge of crying, saying, you know, I feel unsafe, the room is dirty, and, you know, it's not really a hotel that I feel comfortable in, anything like that. He just said, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to deal with it. Bye. Do you know how crazy I felt for my supervisor to do that, to book something like that, and then just say, I don't know what to tell you, and hang up in my face? At that point, it was just clear as day that they did not care about me at all. They just wanted me to get some work done, and that was it. If I didn't want to quit, they were going to just show me that you need to just quit, because that's it. I have like a whole list of stuff in my iPad that I wrote down each and every day. That's how bad it was, guys. Like, it was always something going on inside this office with me. It was like they were just attacking and attacking. And I had to just go to the bathroom every day and just cry and call my mother or call someone and just tell them what's going on. They couldn't believe I was going through all of that. And just to back it on up really quick, guys, there are 2 people that were working for the brand that they switched me to, if that makes sense. Like, they were on a contract because they still had to show the Koreans how to work, you know, how to work their company, if that makes sense. So I was in close contact with those 2 women, and one of the head of departments of marketing, he actually asked me, was I having a meeting with my grandmothers today? And by grandmothers, he meant those 2 black women, my grandmothers. Why would that be my grandmothers? And why is that appropriate to say in a workplace? anywhere. You don't know if my grandmother's dead, anything. I just couldn't believe that they would be talking to me like this. It was just insane. As if that wasn't enough, they tried to give me more problems while I was in Atlanta, but I just shook it off. So that next week when we got back from the trip on Monday, I was working with the beauty advisors. I worked very close. That was the only safe space I had there, were the beauty advisors. Those were the black women that were in the hallways, you know, just testing out the products every day. That was my safe space. So as much as I could, like, I would just go and sit with them and try to do as much content as I could, because I felt uncomfortable in that marketing room because no one was talking in English. No one was speaking to me. I just felt, you know, left out. So why not try to be around, you know, people that will actually speak to me or even speak English? So I'm sitting with them, and my supervisor, he comes over to the table. He's like, Samaya, you spent $14 on food. I need the receipt now. I responded, I'm like, I'm sorry, because I did not know what he was talking about. And he's like, why do you have such an attitude? Like, he's literally yelling in front of the beauty advisors and at me, like in my face, like, why do you have such an attitude? And I'm like, all I said was, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, when did I spend $14 on food and drinks? Please let me know. So at that point, it's, you know how when someone is like ready to say something else, but they're just like trying to hold their tongue? That's what he's doing. And I was like, I just genuinely don't know what you're talking about. He throws the receipt at me and it says, well, ask the head of marketing. The light went off, but we still going. So I go to the person that he told me to go to, which was originally my first supervisor when I first came to Ebba, New York. And I'm asking him, I'm like, all the expenses, receipts, and everything you have, like, I gave everything to you. I'm not sure why this person is coming at me like this, but please just help me figure this out right now. It's like, oh, well, I don't have the receipt for that date, this, that, and the third. So I'm just like, well, let's go through it together. We go through it, and he finds that same receipt for $14. So I go back to the first supervisor that came to me and was coming crazy at me, and I'm like, here, he had the receipt, and he didn't look not one bit at me. He didn't look at me. He didn't apologize for how he was speaking to me or anything. Not even the other supervisor that said that he didn't have the receipt. No one apologized, and I was just like, okay. I took it to the chin. You would think that's it for the day, right? No, it's not. An hour or two later, this supervisor decides to have a meeting with me. The same one I was just talking about, the receipt and all of that. Go in the hallway and have a meeting with me. I just want to let you guys know, like, the way that the office is set up is very little. Everything is glass doors, so you can hear, you can see everything that's going on, even in the hallway. We're sitting in the hallway. He has this whole paper that he done wrote out with dates and everything. It says, like, correct me if I'm wrong. On these dates, you didn't post anything. On these dates, you posted. Da, da, da. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? He said, correct me if I'm wrong. You're supposed to post on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok every day. And I was like, you're wrong. He said, how am I wrong? No, I'm not. Like, he's very defensive. I'm like, I'm supposed to only be posting on TikTok 4 times a week right now. He disregarded everything I said. Like, he did not care anything that came in my mouth. He tried to call 2 of the ladies that's giving the company over or whatever, and they're both saying the same thing that I'm saying. Like, they're agreeing to everything that I'm saying. So now he's very angry, and it gets to the point where he hangs up on the people that he was trying to, I guess, get to agree with him with, and starts going off on me like, well, how much content do you make? This, that. And I'm showing him, like, I just don't understand, though. Once again, we have this whole Asana sheet. I've been having presentations. I've been showing them exactly what I've been doing every single day, on the hour, on the dot, whatever they needed. So why are they still giving me a hard time? I don't know. But let's listen to the rest of what he said to me. He basically said, I don't think you're doing anything, and the person that was before you is better than you. So now I'm just like, excuse me? He's yelling this, by the way. He's not speaking calm about anything. He was very rude about it. He's like, I don't think you're doing anything. And at this point, we're going back and forth because I feel very disrespected. I'm literally showing him all my work, telling him what I do all the time, and this is what you say to me? That's very rude. So someone had ended up running out in the hallway and stopping him from yelling in my face. And I just walked away and started crying. Then they moved me to another supervisor. Now this supervisor is completely new. It's a woman, a Korean woman. She was new. She was telling me herself she didn't know nothing about marketing like that. She was telling me she didn't know nothing about the brands. That's fine. You could come in and do your research or whatever. But the way she was talking, she talked to me any kind of way, to the point where I would have my headphones in or like sitting there doing graphics and stuff like that. She would say, yo, this is how she spoke to me. Yo, like I was just a random black girl out on the streets. Why are you talking to me like that? You don't speak to no one else in the office like that, but you going like this in my face saying, yo, trying to get my attention. This is a corporate job? Like, I'm just confused. So at that moment, I got up and I noticed the CEO was in the lunchroom. I go to the lunchroom. I said, as you know, I have been having problems with the marketing team like crazy. Right now, I'm just letting you know what just happened. This new supervisor, she's talking to me crazy. She's snapping her fingers in my face. She's saying, yo, just trying to get my attention. I don't know why, but I don't like it. No one else is being treated like this. I told him exactly what I'm saying to you guys right now. I told him that. He's just looking at me like, I hear you. One ear out the other, honestly. Literally the next day, I got written up for a warning for insubordination or something like that, because I went to the CEO instead of going to another person and telling them the situation that happened. Please let me know how crazy that is. I'm getting penalized for letting the higher ups know what's going on, because no one else is being able to fix the problems, the communication skills, everything that's going on right now. How does that work? It got worse from there. I had to take a mental health leave in December. At that point, I didn't even want to go back. I didn't even want to go back. I was crying to my mother saying, like, I just feel uncomfortable. They don't like me there. They treat me horrible. Everything. So why would I go back? And I regretted it. So the same day, no one welcomed me back. No one said hello to me when I walked in, and I said good morning to everyone. I said good morning. No one says anything. They just look at me, roll their eyes, or go on their phones. It was just a complete living nightmare. Mind you, I didn't do anything but do my job there, guys. I have a Korean coworker that even texted me and said, I don't know why they're so racist to you. I don't know why they're so racist to you. If they don't like you, they might as well just fire you. I don't know why they still have you here suffering. What really put the icing on the cake, you guys, is when the CEO, he called, well, we have these meetings for design, and the whole company goes to these meetings. It was time for the marketing team to go inside. Everyone else is there. So I'm going inside, and he stops the meeting. The CEO completely stops the meeting because there was someone on a screen talking. He stops the meeting and he says, Samaya, and points to the door. He says something really fast, like, you don't need to be in here. He points to the door. I'm very confused. Everyone's looking at me like, huh? That's what he did, though. He kicked me out, and I just went back to my desk because I was very confused. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit here. A couple hours go by, and I seen that he was out in a hallway on his phone, like just walking. I went up to him, and I asked him, I said, hey, can we talk? He said no. So I'm like, I'm pushed back. I'm like, why? I asked him why. He said, I don't need to speak to you, man. That's how he said it. I don't need to speak to you, man. What? The CEO of Eben, New York is talking to me like this, guys. Guess he felt some type of way about me complaining to HR, and HR going back to him and telling him these things. But that's how he reacted. The HR person wasn't there that day. So the next day, I decided that that was going to be my last day. What I mean by that is, if nothing was going to change right then and there, if they're not going to give me the respect that I deserved from day one, I wasn't going to do any work until I speak to HR once again, and we're going to get something done. So I had the meeting, we get inside, and they're like, we don't want to talk about anything that, you know, the CEO has done to you, has said to you, anything like that. We're just going to terminate you. Terminate me for what? Oh, because your KPI performance, and I've never seen no KPI performance. Isn't that a wrongful termination? If you guys are just now trying to fire me over something like this, when I've been complaining about this company this whole time, KPI performance, I got all my work done all the time. They just try to put together any little thing, guys. How could a company target nothing but African Americans, women of color, and things like that, and treat the only black woman that you have in that corporate like that?
I had to check her page out on TikTok. I saw that she did a follow-up video saying that the company sued her for making that video. I can't make this up, guys. I'm going to show you this video. Please stay with me. I am only reacting to this video and to create awareness so we all can talk about it together. Like, it is not fair that you are speaking your language knowing fully well that I don't understand it. I'm not Korean. I mean, why not speak in a language that I would understand? Even if I don't get to contribute to what you guys were saying, but at least let me just, you know, be comfortable in your midst. That's all. Anyways, let's check the video out.
It has now been 3 months, probably exactly 91 days, since I made my TikToks talking about my experience working at PE0ple, New York. And PE0ple, New York has actually decided to respond by suing me. I was served papers yesterday, guys. So they're countersuing me because I'm suing them. That should tell you everything you need to know. We're not even gonna get into this, but we're gonna get into what they said on Instagram. They made a whole post, I guess, on Instagram, TikTok, everything. And I'm just gonna upload it up here so y'all can read it. My thing is, you guys took 3 long months to respond, no apology. You guys are basically saying that I'm lying about my experience. What makes you think I will make a 4-part TikTok story with no evidence with what I'm saying? Did you guys even think about the fact that as soon as I made my TikTok stories, so many people were backing me up, and so many people that I've never even met had the same type of stories dealing with you guys? And it's the simple fact that you guys are saying my underperformance. Is that the reason why I was mistreated and disrespected the entire time I worked there? Please let me know. If I was underperforming, why do I have so many screenshots of all the things that I've done for you guys and it's viral? Why? And then you guys are saying 50% black on your team now. Our executive team is 50% black, demonstrating our strides towards equity, inclusion, and belonging. Did it take you 3 months to get the 50% black people? I don't have any words. I mean, I have all the evidence in the world to back up everything that I was saying. There's so many other people that are speaking out against you guys, and you're coming at me because all I did was state my experience. That's all. Here's one thing that I want you guys to do, PE0ple, New York. Take a picture of your 50% black team. Actually, the whole team. Take a picture with your team. Make some videos. How about that? Just show everyone how your office looks. That's all you gotta do, right? I am truly disappointed in you guys, but honestly, I expected it. So I will see you guys in court. This is a small thing to a giant.
So as you can see from this video, from her video, you know, from what she said, the company sued her and she says she's gonna see them in court. Now, I have put together a few stitches. Let's just hear what other black women are saying about this video. I checked the comment section out and people were kind of saying, you know, things about the said company and other companies that they had, you know, such experience, you know, with. Now, I am not calling or dragging this company. No, I am only reacting to this video and creating awareness. I mean, imagine as a Korean person, you get employed, you know, in a company that is not owned by a Korean person. Let me just say an African person, a Nigerian person from my tribe, Igbo tribe, and then we get to speak our language. Obviously, you don't understand our language. So tell me, how would you feel? Obviously, you will feel some type of way. Now, I'm not like reacting because she's a black woman. No, I mean, this is not fair. Remember, according to her, when she started the job, they were speaking English. She was literally, you know, you know, communicating with them. Now, because of what happened after she posted the video, they started speaking their language, making her feel some type of way. No, this is not fair. Anyways, you guys, let's check the cities out, please.
Story time of me working for Eben, New York as the only black person in corporate.
I'm really glad somebody had came out and spoke about Eben because they had a long history of being very racist to people they work for and a lot of content creators that I know. And it just so happens around the time when I first started blowing up on this app, they was actually one of the companies that actually had hit me up to sit over and promote and use my sound. They wanted me to sit over and promote for them, but also with my sound. Keep that in mind, right? So I sent them my rates. And usually with big companies like that, I mean, you're a big company. You're asking for my time, my sound, and for me to create a video. So all that is going to accumulate into my price. I'm not going to say what my price is, but just know my price is a price. Okay? And remind you, keep in mind, I was no beauty guru. I was never beauty guru, whatever, hairstylist, nothing like that. Feel me? But a lot of companies had hit me up to use my sound and promote for them based solely off my sound as well, too, right? But with Ebbing, oh, Ebbing. So, boom, now it's a Zoom meeting. Fast forward, we're talking. I was basically told if I was someone like a James Charles or plenty of other Caucasian creators that they have mentioned to me in that call, okay, they will be willing to sit over here and pay my price that I named. But because I'm nothing of the sort, and to them I'm a low class content creator, they was only offering 1K. Like, excuse me, you're a whole company that's thriving off of my people in your promotions and all. Team, board, whatever, right? But you gonna have the nerve to sit over and tell me you can't sit over and pay my price because you consider me a low class content creator, but you need me though. You need me. That's what I don't understand about some of these brands. It's like y'all don't want to pay us what we worth, but you need us. Cause you know you wouldn't be shit without us. And by us, I mean us, not y'all, us. Like, stop playing. And let me repeat, y'all be thriving off of us, not y'all, us. Okay? It's like, it's crazy to me. So I'm glad somebody's actually coming out to sit over and speak on this horrible ass brand. Okay, they need to be sit over and spoke about. They very is much racist. And it's like, you know what? Don't nobody needs to be using them. They don't deserve no light. But the only light they deserve is the negativity that they're getting right now. And I'm glad they're getting it.
Story time of me working for Eben, New York as the only black person in corporate.
Y'all have been tagging me in this girl's story about her experiences as a black girly. So I listened to the whole thing. I even took notes, honey. So I'm going to tell y'all my thoughts as completely independent HR. And for those of y'all that don't know, I'm Sierra, the founder and CEO of Cagebird HR. We provide employees access to independent HR support nationwide. First and foremost, I coined this term called the hire to hostile pipeline. And the hire to hostile pipeline is a modern adaptation of Pet to Threat. And basically it talks about how when black and brown people start jobs, they are told that they're supported and it's super welcoming right up until they start performing and outperforming everybody else around them. Then people get jealous and a work environment that is so hostile is created for the purpose of pushing the person out and getting them to quit. And that is unfortunately exactly what has happened to my good sis. Now, there are a lot of things that I think she did right. She went to HR. I don't know what she said. I don't know if it was in writing, but she did at least go to HR. She went to management. She voiced her concerns. And I think all of those things were great. She even took mental health leave of absence, which, yes, take the time that you need to process and get away from this toxic work environment. Like I said, I don't know what she said to HR. Hopefully it was in writing, but here's what I would have said. First of all, I would accuse them of discrimination, okay? Discrimination via unreasonable and heightened expectations. She was saying that, in her Asana, she had to be super, super explicit in ways that other people did not have to be. They was pressing her real hard about a $14 expense and a receipt, right? Like, which is fine and normal, but like usually there's a time frame, 7 business days or whatever you have to get that stuff in. So if they were, pressing her before that time, then that would be a heightened and unreasonable expectation that they're not subjecting other people to. And then the hotel in the ghetto. Be for real. Why is it that I'm the only one that has to stay in the raggedy hotel? Heightened unreasonable expectation. I also went a bit on their head top about retaliating against her. It was clear that once she went to HR, the things that they were doing to isolate her and separate her and treat her different, it was clear. Retaliation continued when she went to the CEO. Then I would have accused them of microaggressing and creating a hostile work environment that no reasonable person would want to stay employed at. Asking me, am I, about my grandmas, the only other African Americans in the office. Like, what is that? Snapping in my face and yelling. Insane. So those are the key things that I would have kept going to HR about in writing. I also would have tried to get that coworker who said, I don't know why they're treating you so racist. I would have tried to get her to say that in writing. Because now I have proof that everybody knows that I am being treated dissimilarly. And I'm the only black person up in here. One thing I would have recommended that she done differently, instead of waiting for her to fire you, and I know that she probably didn't know that this is where it was going because she was clearly saying, like, I just wanted to change. But if she would have called me, I'd be like, okay, girl, they're going to fire you at some point, and we need to figure out how we can get you some money, some severance, something before that happens. So I would have been super persistent about continuing to go to HR, damn near nonstop. Every time something happened, I would have wrote it down to HR so that when the time came, when we decided that it was just too much, we would have just said, look, it's clear that y'all are discriminating against me, you're retaliating against me. This is a hostile work environment. Like, what are my options? And then try to get some severance. Now that she's off payroll, it's going to be a little bit harder. She does still have some options. I have no idea what state she in, how old she is. I don't know any of the details, but she could always get a lawyer after the fact, go to the EEOC, etc. But I tried to impress upon y'all that once you're off payroll, everything becomes exponentially harder and more expensive. So we want to try to influence the outcome while you're still on payroll. But all in all, that story was crazy as hell. And I'm sorry, sis, that if you see this, I'm so sorry that she went through this. But next time, call us, Cagebird HR, book an appointment so we can help you understand like where this is going before it actually gets there.
Time of me working for Evan, New York as the only black person in corporate.
And this right here is an example of why it's important to support black owned brands. That right there. You can collect and benefit from our black dollar, but this is how you treat your black employee. And from the comment, it's not the first time. And this company isn't the only company. This isn't the only space that's happened at. There's many more, right? It's unfortunate, and hopefully she gets her just due, but just really, really, really mindful of who you're buying products from and what their company stands for. Because this right here ain't it. And it's not the first time, and it's not the first time in this whole beauty supply space where products isn't getting stolen, photos isn't getting stolen, and let alone any sort of profits given back to the black community.
So I took some screenshots of comments from her comment section so you guys can see what other people said about this video. Please pause to read if you want to. Now, after she posted that video, people were, saying that they will stop buying from the company. And a lot of black people said that, black people should start patronizing, black owned, companies, buying stuff from them. Now, after she posted the video that the company took her to court, in the comments, as you can see on the screen, some people were like, okay, is this action going to make us, buy from you guys? Basically, people are still not happy with this company. I think they should, contact this black woman again and make peace with her, sort it out with her. Taking her to court because they claim that her video obviously, is affecting the company basically, and they are suing her for making that video. I don't think that is the best option. I don't think that is the best thing to do. I don't know. This is not nice. This is not fair. in my own opinion. But yeah, I just want to read from you what you have to say about this. Again, I am not making this video to call this company out. I am only reacting to the video and asking the two parties to meet and, you know, sort this thing out, make peace, and then and that's it. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share, comment, and of course, come back for another video. I'm gonna see you all in my next one. Bye.